Welcome back everyone. Today we're going to, I've got a AR160 petrol international here. Mate of mine, good family friend of ours. It's not a paid job, it's just I like helping him out. But this has got a 4-speed in it with it's only a single speed diff, and it does about 80 kilometers an hour. So, and she's revving fairly high. I'm going to put I've got a little 3-speed Spicer Joey box here. I'll zoom in on the numbers. This is going to be a 2 or 3 part series, I reckon. We're going to put this Joey box in behind the main gearbox. It gives you 3-speed. Now it's got a underdrive, direct and overdrive, so that should give him between 5 and 10 kilometers an hour more, or just lower the revs and do the same speed, and it's a bit easier on the engine. But you should be able to split it between the gears too. That's, for those of you who don't know, that's what these do. You can split, you've got 3 ratios in between each gear in your main box, so you don't really use underdrive in these. They're just really a direct and over you use, but underdrive's more for boggy conditions and stuff, and lifting off with heavy loads. But we probably wouldn't be doing that with this, especially being a club registered vehicle. It come out of a we call them butter box here in Australia. They're an international ACO, about a 71 model. It would have came out of, either would have had a 120 Perkins in it or a 345 V8 petrol, which are probably, I think they're 130, 150 horsepower, so it's certainly going to do the job. This is probably 100, I'm not sure, this petrol motor in this truck, so it's not going to hurt anything. The Butterbox ACO is probably the same chassis as the Lodestars that you have over there in America. I'd reckon they're the same truck. We just put an Australian built cab on them. They're still Perkins or international motors, or and Rockwell and Spicer and all that sort of stuff. So, and Eaton, they're all American parts. Just I think the cab was built in Australia and New Zealand had them as well. I've got a few of those down the back. Actually went to use one the other day, and I got in it. I end up using the R600, and you'll see a video of that probably before this, but I put the clutch down in the ACO and it went straight to the floor. All that rain we've had, and for those of you who know, the brake fluid just doesn't like moisture. It'll suck it into wherever it can, so it'll be just rusted. The pedal was a bit tight and then it just stayed down. So I've got one of those, so I'll do a fitting of that and probably take it for a drive. It's got a 3-speed in it like this and a 5-speed main, so change a couple of gears in that, and can't go real far with it around here, but still make a good video. But so that's basically it. So this morning I've undone all the U-bolts on the tray. I think there's 3 each side, and I'm just going to nip the light. Oh, it's got a bit of 7-core running there for the light. I'll cut that, put a Deutsch plug on it, make it nice and neat, and then Dad's here, I'll just put her over here, offset it a little bit, and I've got the old forklift down there with a jib on it, so I'll set her all up and lift it off. I undone all the bolts this morning, as I said, while the camera and everything was charging, so it's really ready to go. I might just unload this box off it so it's not unbalanced when we lift it, and we'll go from there. Just going to move her, I'll just show you the inside of it. It's a bloody nice truck. I drove it here this morning about 3 or 5 kilometres, and only just up the road, but it drives really good. It's just the only thing that lets it down is the road speed. I don't like over revving old girls like this, because petrols aren't governed like an old diesel, but even then, unless it's an old 2-stroke Jimmy, I don't really like doing it anyway. So this was restored many years ago, but she's held up nice. He's had a lot of years now, done a lot of club runs with it. I think it's got I should know because I've done some work to it. I think it's a silver flame, do they call these? I've done all the brakes up and exhaust system and everything on it just before I started YouTubing, so yeah, she is there. So got a holly and whatnot on her. Goes quite good. I think it needs a bit of a tune. She's got a bit of a miss down low in the revs. You can open the bonnet, it'll hinge either way, or you can open them both up and lift it right off. I think it may have even been ex-military, this one, because there's no chrome or anything on it, and I believe that's how they were. Nothing shining on those, so they didn't give their position away or whatever the case was. I think that's why this one's got all painted, even though it was restored. I believe that's how it was. So I'll set this up and listen to a start, and I'll move it, and then we'll set the forklift up. Got my dad on the forklift here, so I can video a bit better rather than just a static shot. Sit it under this chain block, and then we'll hoist it up in the air and park the truck under. Then we can use that to adjust it all and find out where we're going to sit it. And oh no. Over the middle. Go up a bit. Just tilt forward, that'll do. Yeah. Right, sit this down and strap it up, then we'll do a static video of lifting it off. Okay, I got her off. She's hanging a bit crooked. Obviously, if that's the weight of the loading board offsetting it, that's not a problem. That bloody that lifting jib there I made up. It only took me an hour. I lifted the cab off a tractor years and years ago with that, and I've been using it ever since, but it's certainly taken its toll now. Anyway, safety first. I had the dog's bed shoved between the cab and the loading board. I'd hate for it to come forward and hit that nice cab. So, and now we'll set the Joey up on the chain block. We'll lift it up and back the truck in under it. It's close enough there. If we need to move it, we can obviously just roll it, push it, whatever. So I'm not going to video the whole way. I think I'll just do stages with the camera because I like to have the radio on with a little bit of rock and roll, and keep getting copyright emails off YouTube when they hear that through the camera. So I won't video the whole thing, but I'll just do stages. So start by pulling the tail shaft out. I've got to factor it in with that cross member somehow, whether we move that back, I don't know. So there's a bit of thinking involved here as well. Right, I've already got the back tail shaft out. I'm just do a quick video on pulling the front one out, then we'll take some measurements, and I'd like to put it, if we can put it in front of this cross member, then the original shaft can just fit back there. All we'll have to make up is the two from there. So I'd rather not move this because it's all riveted in, it's original. So if I can get it to fit there, the linkages won't hit under the cab, that'd be nice. So there we go. Okay, so I've got that front tail shaft out. I ended up breaking a bolt in that rear gearbox, the rear flange on the front gearbox, so it's going to set things back a bit. I won't do it yet. I'll get everything cut and mounted, and then I'll do it last. But you can see I've got it sitting in there. It's only hanging off the hoist, but I think it's going to work out really well. So I don't know if you can see that, the selectors here, which are under that strap, are going to clear that cab mount, and the rear flange is going to line up with that cross member there for your centre bearing. So it's going to work out really well, providing I cut the tail shaft and make it the right length. So it's got a bit of movement in it, so it can be mounted, and then I'll just have to cut it and then find the flange that suits the back of that Joey, which is that bigger one there, I think, and make it fit. So it's all coming together now. I haven't spent a lot of time doing lathe work, so it's fairly rough and ready, but I can get it to work most times. Change that tip, she sounds fairly blunt. I've got the yoke machined off. I have to cut that down, machine that down so it fits that tube. So I have to put the 4-jaw chuck on, I'd imagine, so I can grab that. And then I'll have to measure from where it bolts up to the cross member to this plate and part it off here somewhere and make it fit that yoke which suits this transmission, and then we can use the original shaft. So that's where I'm up to at the moment. It's Saturday afternoon now, so I've got to stop work, but I don't know if I'll continue this video or just make it a 3-part thing like I said earlier, but today we're going to have to leave it here.